Our Sunday night political panel. They say they like each other, but deep down, I doubt it very, very much. New South Wales Liberal Senator Holly Hughes and former Labor Minister Graham Richardson. Welcome to you both.
I do like her.
I like him too. I'm not very happy with that.
Stop the front. Come on, Richo. You said to me yesterday, I don't like that woman. Come on,
I did not.
You did.
You are a barefaced liar.
No, that is a lie. I don't believe that for 1 second.
All right.
I like his wife too.
Albo hasn't stopped hunting down Scott Morrison all week, and now a federal review has revealed that the former PM had the final say over the allocation of grants in the industry portfolio. These were 17 grants amounting to $828 million in the lead up to the election. This has got nothing to do with his additional ministries. He could do this as Prime Minister without those ministries, but Morrison continues to be bad baggage for your side, Holly. I know there are some good parts of his legacy, but is it time that he resigned?
Look, the people of Cook re-elected him at the last election, and that's a decision for him to make, and I'm not going to preempt what decision he makes. But I think what is telling is that we have these enormous cost of living pressures. We have power prices going through the roof. We have families unable to afford to put petrol in their car. And Albanese hasn't made the switch to PM from opposition leader yet. And he's still looking backwards at attacking Scott at every opportunity. And it seems extraordinary that all of the success that Scott and Josh had through the COVID management, all of the success we had keeping businesses going, people connected to their jobs, JobKeeper, JobSeeker, all of those programs have been forgotten, and they're just digging around to try and... It's almost like the shiny thing to distract from the real everyday issues that are affecting Australian families.
I'm on Holly's page with this, Richo. He's got to get on, forget about being an opposition leader and start running a government, because he's in the real seats now.
Yeah, I think he's doing that anyway, but he's just giving this bloke a bit of a slap around along the way, which is what you do in politics. I don't think it's terribly serious. I doubt very much if Scott Morrison's losing a lot of sleep. I think it'll just blow away in the wind pretty soon.
But Richo, he keeps delaying addressing some of the cost of living pressures everyone faces, saying, oh, don't worry, we've got a budget in October. Oh, and don't worry, we've got a job summit in September. Talking about pushing things down the road.
Yeah, but I don't think he's got much choice, because he can't do much about it at the moment. And so I think you're just being honest and saying, I can't fix it today, but September, October, we're going to do some things that'll helpfully ease the problem, ease the pain. So I think he's doing all he can. I just think you're asking a bit much of him.
All right.
Well, they could ease the pain if they extended the fuel excise levy being cut, because that's going to put about 50 cents per litre onto the price of petrol, which is going to see inflation go up, which is going to have a further impact on families. But now they're saying they're not going to look at that. They won't commit to the $275 they spoke about consistently through the election campaign. They're walking away from that commitment as fast as they can. But, you know, we have all of these issues floating around, and now they look like they're going to backflip on the stage 3 tax cuts, which was something they took to the election and said that they would not renege on. So they have to now face all these broken promises. Yeah,
I wonder whether they will touch that. Labor is also copping some serious flack for the cashless debit card of abolition, which hasn't happened, but this is exactly what they want to do. But I noticed today, Richo, that Social Services Minister Amanda Rishworth has been warned by Indigenous leaders in Cape York, including Noel Pearson, not to dump the card. Is there a backflip on the way, do you think?
I hope there is, because I certainly would not dump the card. I've had some experience with it. I think it's had a very positive effect, and I think we'd be crazy to dump it. So I hope Noel Pearson gets his way on it.
Noel Pearson is right here, Holly. It should not have been touched.
Amanda Rishworth didn't need to go up and even hold those meetings. All she needed to do was look at what the Community Affairs Committee's done over the past few years. I have sat on more inquiries looking at the cashless debit card around Australia, where women, grandmothers, mothers would come in and talk to us about how they weren't being humbugged for their money. It was allowing them to put fresh fruit and vegetables on the plates of their children. They were able to access school supplies, that they desperately wanted it to stay. And where the Labor Party is being tricky here, they're trying to remove the cashless debit card, which is run by Inju, which is basically a credit card kind of thing that can be used online, can be used anywhere. But they're still leaving the basics card in place, which is racist in its nature in many, many ways. It's only able to be used at specific stores that advertise they take the basics card, cannot be used online, so it is actually more restrictive. They are still keeping some income management, but they're letting that kind of go under the carpot.
This will be interesting.
Not being honest here.
So when it gets to the Senate, you guys will have to make a decision.
We will absolutely not support rolling back the cashless debit card.
Right.
And how you can say we support a voice to Parliament, we're here to support Indigenous Australians, and then yet put onto these communities an increase in violence, an increase in the alcohol consumption, remove security from a lot of families and put a lot of women and children in danger. It is absolute hypocrisy at the highest level.
Yeah, too inconsistent for mine. I cannot believe what we've heard, Richo, from the Indonesian president over the weekend. They are actually going to allow Vladimir Putin to attend the G20 summit in November. I think it's a disgrace.
So do I. I think most people around the world will. I mean, Putin's fast become a pariah. There are very few countries that want to have him anywhere near them. And why Indonesia, which has, really got defence alliances and ties much more with the United States and the West than it has with Putin, why they would do this is just beyond me completely. But of course, the Indonesians are prone to these little distractions, and they're a sovereign country. What can you do?
Why do they do that? This happens so often, Holly. Here we got this Umar Patek, the bomb maker, being released halfway through a 20-year sentence on our 20th anniversary of this terrible Sari Club bombing, and then this Vladimir Putin's coming to Bali in November for G20. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to irritate countries like Australia?
Well, interestingly, I was over at the Interparliamentary Union in Bali, at exactly the same sort of venues that this is being held, because they already had the G20 sort of flyers up, letting everyone know it was coming. And at the IPU, there was no Russia or Belarus. So there has been some precedent in some of these parliamentary gatherings where Russia and Belarus have been excluded, and this occurred in Bali. But I don't know why they are committed to this. I hadn't been to Bali before and went to where the bombs occurred with some New Zealand and British counterparts. It is so confronting where those bombs went off, the small space where those clubs were located next to each other, and then to see the memorial and the wall and the names of all those particularly Australians that we lost. It beggars belief why they would do this.
Yeah, I've seen it myself. It has the same impact. Now, in a leaked video, Finland's young Prime Minister Sanna Marin, Richo, is seen dancing and singing with friends at a private party. The 36-year-old leader has since been criticised for having fun, and she's gone off to get a drug test to prove that she wasn't taking drugs. Now, you've seen some of the video, no doubt, over the weekend.
Yep.
She looks like she's having a sensational time. Surely even a Prime Minister can party on in private, can't they?
Absolutely. And I tell you what, she's not half a good sort. I wouldn't mind partying with her myself. But why wouldn't she be able to do this? What's the reason that you give to say that a Prime Minister can't have fun? Yes. I don't get that at all.
And especially you and Hawkey in the 70s and 80s when you used to go to those discos until dawn. You got away with that. You didn't face the same scrutiny.
No, we didn't. But then again, I think if we had, both of us would have been out of office very quickly. So it was probably a very good thing.
I hope she stays, but the Finnish people have turned against her on this.
Well, I saw this week that there's Finnish women who are out there actually tagging her, putting up videos of them dancing.
Oh,
so
good.
I don't think it's across the board, the demonisation of her. And in fact, we hear all the time politicians, you're out of touch, you're not, you're not like everybody else. Well, you know what? We are. And sometimes we go to a party, and I think absolutely people should have a great time. And just to prove it, I reckon Richo and I will cut up the dance floor next time.
Okay, I'll have the video.
Absolutely. I'm in it.
I'll roll. I want to see it all. And you pretend to be friends again. Richo, thank you very much. Holly Hughes, good to have you on the program.
We're not
Thanks,
inviting
Chris.
him to lunch next time, Richo. It's just you and I.
Look, bugger him. I mean, we don't need him.
No.
Thank you very much. Still